Well, good morning and welcome to my wood shop. I don't have a motorcycle shop, and my wife says I can't rebuild this in the kitchen, so I'm out in my wood shop. It's really cold outside. It's a blustery Southern California day, middle of November, so it's got to be down to the mid 70s. Anyway, I'm going to change out my points ignition on my 1973 Honda CL175. I'm going to go from points to an electronic ignition. I got the electronic ignition from Charlie's place. So bear with me. I'm not a mechanic, but I did sleep at a Motel 6 last night. Anyway, points are located underneath the points cover right here. And what I ran into, I've already undid this, but I'm going to replay it. Anyway, you see how nice and easy that's coming out? That just isn't going to happen on a 45-year-old bike. That one in particular was just a booger to get out. So when I put it back together, I'm going to put it back with a little bit of anti-seize on it. But I'm trying my best not to strip out all these stock bolts and screws and nuts and all the various things that come in here. I've squirted them, but you just got to work on them slowly and don't get frustrated like I do. Anyway, that's what a points looks like. These fabulous 40-year-old devices here. For the new people, the points actually points north, so it's a new navigation tool. That's a lie. Anyway, these are the ignition points, and they open and close as the engine turns. There's a cam right here going in, and when it turns, it opens up the points or closes the points. When the points close, it fires off the coil that in turn fires off the spark plug and creates a spark for ignition. Anyway, these just come right out. Now, when I originally took these out, they came out exactly like this. I'm still going to put a little bit of anti-seize on there. Oops. But bear with me. I don't know if anti-seize is a good idea or bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway. So, it comes right out. And one of the things I did notice is this grommet right here is just rock hard, and so I went and got a rubberized grommet that I'll cut and slip into there. Hopefully it squishes on fine. Now this also has to come out, and that's a 10 mil. I actually already undid it, so it comes right out, and that frees up the world in there, and everything just comes on out. Well, actually, I can pull that out first, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna make it more difficult. Anyway, it all comes right out. Now, one of the things I did, this comes out. One of the things I did, this comes out like that. I cleaned this area pretty well. Try not to pull that out. I put a little bit of lithium grease on there after I cleaned it. I did check the. I'll put it back in. It just slips right in. Like that. I did check the springs. They still work just fine. Those springs are kind of a bitch to find, but I didn't feel a need at this point to replace them in the install. When I go to rebuild the entire bike next summer, I'm going to replace these with stainless steel springs if I can find them. This is kind of an initial build just to get the bike up and running so I can take it on a pretty long adventure trip to Dawson City in June. But when after I get back, I'm going to completely redo the bike. You can see I've got the harness open here. I'm removing wires that I no longer need. Anyway, Charlie's ignition comes in a little tin can. It's actually kind of cool. Like I said, he's out of Glendale. It's called charliesplace.com. The guy is just fantastic. Everything he's supplied me so far, and I've got quite a bit of stuff from him, is top quality. And he returns emails, tells you kind of how to do it. Anyway, he supplies this. That goes right in here. Put a little bit of lithium grease on that. If he's watching this, he's probably going to call me up and say, what the hell are you doing putting lithium grease on everything? But now normally, I should say the instructions say there's a little arrow down here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right on here. And it says to face the magnet in that direction. But this actually has two magnets. So it just goes in like that. A little bit of a wiggle, and it's in. That's it. On this particular one, there's no up and down simply because there's two magnets on it. On other ones I've seen, they have a single magnet, and that single magnet would be in the down position or wherever the arrow is. And again, there's an arrow right here on the plate. You can see it. So now for the famous electronic ignition. That goes in. It's just a coil, simple coil. Excuse me, not a coil. It's a magnet, and that's a magnet switch in there. And I just simply start to put the, well, let me take that off. See, I'm nervous here. Let me put this back on. And that's all the way in there. We're going to put that back on. You know what? I know. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on that. If I don't jostle the camera too much, just a touch. I don't want to have to screw this some other time when I go to undo it. So I put it's a little teeny bit of anti-seize compound. And I'm going to put it back together. Maybe in 50 years, whoever has this bike will think fondly of me because I put most of these things back with just a touch of anti-seize. Now I'm just putting that on a little bit finger tight right now. And also these, it's probably not needed, but again, a little bit anal on some things. I'm going to put anti-seize on these as well. So, and at this point, I'm just kind of putting it in. I'm not setting the timing yet. When I go to set the timing, I'm going to have to probably just pull this off. I haven't got to that point. Oh, there we go, Tabor. So I know I'm not putting that in crooked. I'm going to back off a little bit and it'll go right in. Whoops. Just like, yeah, Tabor. Now that I'm on camera, giving up my whole last name as if it was a secret anyway. Here's one. Little dab of anti-seize on this one as well. Again, I know I'm overdoing the anti-seize. I'm just putting a touch on there though. Again, because I don't want these things, I don't want these things to get seized in there in the next 43 years. And that goes in. Just kind of seats in there. And what will happen when I go to set the timing, I created, and I'll show in another video, a little light that I hook in line according to their instructions, and I advance this or retard it just a little bit to set it up perfect. Now what I did, I went to beautiful Home Depot and got this. I'm getting anti-seize over everything. Or that's actually lithium. I got a rubber grommet. I'm going to see how this works. The other hard plastic one was just too hard, so I cut it, and just for now I'm going to temporarily reinstall it. I'm going to put the cut to the back, and that kind of pushes right in there like that. And what I'm thinking is when I put the plate on it, it's actually going to squish it nice. Anyway, so what you do is you put the gasket back on. I'm not going to do that right now. Put the gasket back on, put the cover plate back on, and you're good to go. And I'll show you in another video how to actually set the timing. That's about it. Thank you.